Game number 3 in the Big 3 from downtown Oklahoma City. Ball Hogs versus Killer 3's from the home of the Thunder. With Brandon Tierney, Jim Jackson, I'm Carter Blackburn. A good day in downtown Oklahoma City. We wrap it up with game number 3. Ball Hogs seeking their first win of the season. Killer 3's seeking to bounce back after their first loss versus Red Hot Trilogy. So what do you expect in game number 3?
I expect Killer 3's to come out, determined. I think more aggressive, because they can't allow themselves, now that they're right in the hunt as one of the top teams in the league, to have a setback. You know that the Ball Hogs are going to come out. They're going to be hungry. They need a W, so you have to match that energy early. The thing about the Ball Hogs, they've been competitive early on, but haven't been able to maintain that, especially in the second half. So it's incumbent upon the Killer 3's to kind of push the Ball Hogs back on their heels, force them into that non-confidence area where they're like, here we go again, and kind of take this victory.
Take a look at our rosters, brought to you by State Farm. Killer 3's and Ball Hogs. Killer 3's 3-1, led by Steven Jackson, who has been a star of the Big 3 since we got it rolling 3 years ago. Will McDonald is coming on big time for the Ball Hogs right now. Out a big man from New Orleans via South Florida. There's a handful of issues for the Ball Hogs when you're taking on the Killer 3's, because not only Steven Jackson, who is still balling, Eddy Curry still question mark. Donte Green has had a hot hand as of late. So for Rick Barry, you know about the free throw accolades, but need I remind you, this man was the finals MVP in 1975, a member of the NBA's 50th anniversary all-time team, the former Miami Hurricane, 14 seasons in the NBA and the ABA. And Charles Oakley, you know about his Knick career. You go back to Division II Virginia Union in the early to mid 1980s, and Oak still looking strong on the bench for the Killer 3's.
Don't worry about it. It's an Ohio thing. We tend to keep ourselves in shape post our playing career.
Cleveland, and then you got Jim. We had the Buckeye love with Greg Oden in the middle, but yeah, Oak is rolling strong. Coming off the first loss of the season for Trilogy versus Trilogy. Playing to 50, have to win by 2. 14-second shot clock. Get the wrinkle with the free throws where however you're fouled. You get 1 shot for that point, including the 4-point shot.
How about the White Mamba?
How about
in the starting lineup?
Oh,
Rick Barry switching things up.
All right, Brian Scalarbine, 3rd season in the Big 3. He has tasted victory only 3 times with the Ball Hogs, none yet this year. Fadeaway floater, Steven Jackson. Brian Scalarbine, that's a defensive win. The Scalarbine-Jackson matchup that you have been
waiting
craving
for. The key to the game is who wins that matchup.
No question about it. Frank Nitti drops it up. There's Curry. I said question mark. How about Eddy Curry? Nifty footwork and finishes with a left.
But you know what? The thing about Curry, despite the injuries, he always had excellent footwork and always had a soft touch inside when he played the game. It's just one of those situations. You see a great move inside by McDonald off the pass by Stevenson. That Curry, never fully healthy, never reached his full potential, which is unfortunate because his skill set was as good as anyone that played that position.
4th overall pick in 01 by the Bulls. Did win a championship with the Heat coming off the bench, but Eddy Curry played in the opener for Killer 3's, hasn't played in the last 3. So this is a big presence inside for the Killer 3's. Nitti, Steven Jackson, Curry, offensive rebound, up over McDonald. 4 early points for the Killer 3's. Welcome back, Eddy Curry.
Yeah, welcome back. But that's the start you want if you're Coach Oakley. Again, when you're dealing with a team that hasn't won, the mindset you want to go out with is just put them back on their heels early, and don't allow them to get any kind of confidence early.
Nitti triple. There's Scalarbine with a rebound. Jackson comes out to try and defend him. Switch out Curry. Stevenson, Scalarbine facing up and drilling it. Brian Scalarbine.
I like the movement, though. It was multiple pick and rolls. It was multiple flare screens, and that time Scal able to clear enough distance on the baseline and knock in that little 15-foot jump shot.
Nitti into Curry. All 6 early on for the killer threes from Eddy Curry.
There's really nothing you can do. I don't care what if Curry gets that deep and gets that body inside the paint, he just turns and finishes over the defense.
Steven Jackson has been shut out so far by Brian Scalarbine, but option number 2, Eddy Curry inside. And now McDonald. Nitty with the board. Frank Nitty in the corner. Scalarbine with the board. Ball hog. Why not? Left alone, Scalarbine. 4 early points for the Ball Hogs, leading the way.
And Coach Berry is looking extremely smart right now by inserting Scal into the starting lineup.
Oh, foul called. He was D'ing up Steven Jackson. Yeah. Let's see, 4 points last week, 4 points early on for the Ball Hogs now.
If the Ball Hogs pull off this victory, Scal is the player of the game no matter what happens right now. Just because of the quick start, Scal has energized this team early on, but we got a long way to go.
They might carry him out of the building.
Yeah, that's right.
They might carry him. I mean, not to go to that one too many times, but I mean, 0-4 this year. And 3 wins in 3 years for the Ball Hogs. So why not mix it up and get a little fight from Scalarbine? Curry had the first 6 for the killer threes. McDonald, Jackson knocks it away. McDonald gets it back. And then Will McDonald.
Well, they're going to count the basket.
I think so.
They called the foul after the basket.
Rick Barry's out. Yep, counted. Rick Barry's out to make sure that does count, and it does.
Okay.
Jackson. Ooh, left that 4-pointer just short. Stevenson poked away. Nitty. Stevenson gets it back. Had an eye on Nitty coming from behind for the block. Good screen from Scalarbine. Jackson. Steven Jackson in tight, in the lane. Runner goes. First bucket for Steven Jackson.
I think he heard you. That's my cousin. I think he heard you when you talked about Scal shutting him down.
I had to get it in while it was pertinent. And now Stevenson triple. Stevenson 3. Ball Hogs back on top.
I like the fact that the fight is there with the Ball Hogs. It's easy to kind of slump your shoulders when things are not going well, but early on in this game, the energy is there. They're maintaining their poise in regards to when killer 3 score. They come right back with an answer.
McDonald on Curry. McDonald faces up on Curry. Nitty has a board. Franklin Sessions. Curry wants it on McDonald. And now Curry backing in. Takes a couple of good pops. Curry finishes. That's 8 early for Eddy Curry. Killer threes in Ball Hogs. Going back and forth. The big man from Illinois, Eddy Curry. 8 early killer threes. Want your sports news without the yelling and fake debates? Stream CBS Sports HQ, the free 24/7 network for non-stop highlights and news. Download the CBS Sports app today. Back in town down Oklahoma City. Back and forth killer threes and Ball Hogs. Brandon Tierney is with the man of the hour, Brian Scalarbine.
I mean, you had to unwrap this secret weapon at some point. You had to get him some burn. Scally getting the start. How you feeling?
Let me tell you what it is. I think Stack is the best player in the league, right? So I got to get up for the best player in the league, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to stay locked in. I know I got a big task ahead, but do not jinx me early. Has a long game to play.
You think I'm Rappaport?
If I go bad, I'm blaming you.
It's like the old school WWF interview. You grabbing the mic. I like it. All right, let me ask you this. You're obviously not rusty. Are you tired?
No, I'm not tired, but I just got to make sure I stay engaged. And when I get tired, if I do, Coach got to be ready to pull me out.
Good to see you back on the court, man.
We'll see what I can do. Don't jinx me.
Stop saying that, Scal. Get out of here. Get out of here before we put you back on the bench, Scal.
It is an early triple-double watch for Brian Scalarbine with 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. So we will keep an eye as whether Scalarbine can break through. Get him on the court and he's trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Mess around and get a triple-double. That's right.
Oh, Scalarbine. That's not going to help his league-leading field goal percentage off of that miss. That one I think you can blame on Brandon Tierney. Now he's matched up with Eddy Curry. That's a tough one in tight. McDonald from the elbow. Curry late contest. Eddy has the board. Curry 8 of the first 12 for the killer threes. Curry in tight. Stevenson on the wing. Off of a double screen. Stevenson. Good look for DeShawn Stevenson.
Yeah, but good recognition that time. He saw that Frank Eddy went under the screen. And once he turned the corner, Stevenson rhythm dribble, pull up 15-footer and splash.
See if they go under the screen the next time. Now it's Jackson guarded by Scalarbine. Jackson in tight on Scalarbine with the lift. There's another rebound for Scalarbine. 3 in the game now. Stevenson. Boy, he's starting to get hot now. Go under a screen one time, give him a couple looks.
But that was a good flare screen or fade for Stevenson. And how about the pass from Scal? A little skip bounce pass that came right into the shooting pocket of Stevenson.
4 straight for DeShawn Stevenson. One of the NBA title with the Mavs. Curry fighting his way in. That is 10 of 14 from Eddy Curry for the killer threes.
But I would keep, kind of going to Eddy Curry. Swing the ball side to side, allow Curry to get deep post position to then finish the offensive possession if you can with him touching the ball down in the paint.
Stevenson off the curl, offensive foul. Illegal screen called on Will McDonald, so wipe that one out. Quintel Woods into the game. See, Woods will sub out Scalarbine as we check in with BT Brandon Tierney.
Guys, watching Curry hit the bench, I heard you guys, and Jimmy, I thought it was a good description. Always had good feet, always had good hands as a young pro with the Bulls and certainly with the Knicks. The one thing he didn't always have was the fire. And he's out here wolfing for calls. He's got some energy that he didn't necessarily always show in the NBA. It's nice to see.
Yeah, part of it too was he didn't have the work ethic, especially when injuries came about, to get back in the best of shape. And that's what I think also, took away what could have been, I think, an outstanding career from that young man, because like you said, he had all the tools.
Well, he had the heart condition as well.
Yeah, he had the heart condition.
Really didn't allow him to train maybe as hard or as diligently as he would have liked to.
Well, before the heart condition was discovered, it was some questions in regards to his work ethic.
No question.
In regards.
No,
so again, a lot of factors played into why he wasn't kind of the player we all thought he would be. But I'm happy to see that he's back out here and enjoying the game.
Yep.
Steven Jackson got called for 18, and then Jackson off the bounce, aggressive to the hoop. So Jackson's been deferring early because of Eddy Curry. Now Steven Jackson, one of the stars of the Big Three since its inception, trying to find his rhythm. Back and forth. Both teams fighting in the early going. And Ty McDonald on Jackson, mismatch.
Well, finally, McDonald is like, now I finally got a mismatch inside. I don't have to battle against Curry. I got a smaller Steven Jackson on me. Let me catch and just finish inside.
Eddy step back on Stevenson. Eddy can find his own shot any way you want it.
Tough guard. I mean, he's so tricky with the basketball. He's quick and fast, which is a really good combination when you're a point guard. There you go. Great recognition, too, because he thought about taking it back out. Recognized it didn't hit the cylinder. Didn't have to clear it easy, too.
4 straight for Eddy. Game 3 of 3 in Oklahoma City. Stevenson, there's Powell with a rebound. Steven Jackson launches, 3 won't go. Powell the offensive rebound, second chance, the killer threes. Eddy finally misses. Quintel Woods long board. There's that mismatch again.
Yep.
Jackson on McDonald. Foul called on Jackson, who is not happy.
Well, look, it's a late call. If you're going to call that, call it early on the contact. That time, Steven Jackson didn't think it was a foul that was going to be called, but it came after the shot was missed.
Steven Jackson, who got a tee earlier, still talking. Donte Green coming in with the killer threes. Green coming off 18 points. Last week in the loss, first loss versus Trilogy. McDonald follows up the miss. So he missed a 2-point free throw. Get it the hard way with a rebound to boot.
No, that was just a mental error on the part of the killer threes by not boxing out the shooter.
Jackson, 2. Halftime's at 25. We're playing to 50, have to win by 2.
Push off.
Yeah, you think so? I was waiting for that whistle too, because McDonald had a pretty clear one on Donte Green.
Yeah, that was an easy call for the official on the baseline. We saw that from back at our angle, back on the top side of half court. So
McDonald, third personal, has to sit the rest of the first half. But again, at halftime comes the 25-point break. There's Green. Misses a 4-point shot. Woods clears it. Scalarbine, step in 3. Jackson lets it go. Woods lets it go. Killer 3 ball. Josh Powell, who played 8 years in the NBA. Jackson. Stevenson the board. And now Stevenson.
Easy 2.
Easy 2. Get you to 24. One more bucket halftime. The killer threes try to go 4-1. Would tie them atop the Big 3 standings. Stevenson. Another miss from 3. Jackson. Down the baseline, Steven Jackson sends us to halftime. So Steven Jackson's had some frustrating moments in the first half, but a bucket to send it to the half. Jackson, double-figure scoring again. He has 10 on the board. It's an and 1, so Jackson has one more shot before we have halftime.
And I love the fact that Steven has been lobbying for some calls, offensively and defensively. Instead of selling for a jump shot, he put it on the deck, forced the officials and the defense have to make a play and a call.
The 3-point play for Steven Jackson, 11 in the first half. Eddy Curry, 10 killer threes, lead it at the break. 27-21. Back to OKC after this. Back and forth in the early going, killer threes behind double-digit scoring from Steven Jackson and Eddy Curry have a 6-point lead at the break. Brian Scalarbine, 4 points for the Ball Hogs. I would like to point out he has not scored since the interview with Brandon Tierney, so Scal's worst fears may in fact have come to fruition. But the team who is in the lead, Jim Jackson, killer threes, you got a double-figure scoring here from the guys who, at the beginning of the year, you would have said, all right, this is the way we're going to win if you were the killer threes. Curry and Jackson, and it's happening today after Curry's had the last 3.
Well, some of the most dominant kind of combinations have been inside and out, and that's what you have with Curry, who's been able to get that big body inside, utilize the space that he creates, and then finish. And then Steven Jackson slowly figuring out how the game was flowing, picking, choosing the spots when they attack on the offensive end.
Now, Eddie's hoping that he doesn't get the Brandon Tierney jinx because he's with BT right now.
Oh, man. Don't think Scalarbine didn't shoot me that death glare. He said, what are you doing to me? Non-verbally, of course. All right, the big man, Eddy Curry. 6 shots, 5 buckets. You look good. 3 games on the bench. And I said, were you hurt? You said, no. That was an Oak decision. Then what did you say?
Yeah, definitely an Oak decision, and we don't question Oak decisions around here. Ever since my rookie year, I know not to question that. Just let him know that I was ready for him, and tonight he came to me, and I was ready.
Gave you the nod. You responded so far. McDonald's a big load inside as well. He didn't play in the NBA. You obviously did, and we were talking on the broadcast about your skill set when you were young, with the Bulls, with the Knicks, good hands, good feet, little injury riddled. It's nice to see you having fun playing basketball again.
Yeah, man, it's so much fun having just playing ball right now, and you know what a beautiful league and what a great job Ice Cube and the guys did with this.
Don't forget rule number 1, the Oak Man. You don't question the Oak Man.
No, we don't question the Oak.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, here you go.
All right, and back to, you know, what Cube said before. Yeah, one of the things he's enjoyed about this Big 3 experience is guys get another chance on the floor and another chance to put the sneakers on and play basketball. And it has come about. There's Cube with White Kimberly taking it in courtside here in Oklahoma City. And you see that with Eddie Curry and the way he's responded. Even after not playing those last 3 weeks, whatever may have factored into that, you come back out on the floor and now Killer 3's, you factor Eddie Curry in, this becomes an even more dangerous team.
Let me expand on that a little bit more, especially in team sports. When you retire from playing team sports, I don't care if it's 2 years, 3, whatever it is, the thing you miss, and you talk to a lot of players, you see a good move and get down on inside. The competition is one thing, the winning and losing, you miss the camaraderie. So what you get in this league now is not just a competition, not just being on TV and the fans, but now you get the camaraderie of the locker room, hanging out again at the hotel. You meet, you go out to eat. Those things that you can't replace. Another great inside move by McDonald. You can't replace that in everyday life. And that's why these guys enjoy really playing in the Big 3 besides just the competition. You see inside a tough shot, air ball. McDonald once again by being in the right place to box out Powell and able to get the ball inside to see if he can complete the three-point play.
McDonald, three-point play, give him 13 now in the game for Will McDonald. New Orleans, South Florida, he's played overseas in Europe, in the Philippines, in Puerto Rico, Argentina, Japan. Extensive pro resume, but now Will McDonald getting to show out the Big 3 a little bit. Ball Hogs within striking distance, seeking their first win of the year. Scalarbine gets a block! Wow, and Jackson goes flying as Scalarbine gets it started with defense on Steven Jackson. Turns into 2 for the Ball Hogs. The Mamba presence felt on Steven Jackson.
Steven Jack, he had to laugh at that one as he got up off the ground and that Scalarbine got that block shot. But listen, you got to be there in order to be able to get that shot blocked, and Scalarbine maybe not scoring, but surely contributing on the defensive end.
The blocks on Stacks. No jinx here. Scalarbine on D. Well, maybe we'll get the triple-double watch back in effect now with the block for the Mamba from Long Beach, California. 3rd season in the Big 3. And obviously, Scal's up for a good time and a good sport, but I mean, it's got to be burned at this point when the wins just haven't been there. I mean, and you talked about it, Jimmy. Every time we see the Ball Hogs, it's like, all right, tight game, you're in it, and then somehow the other team ends up getting the victory. So,
well, here's the thing, too. Coach Rick Barry can only do so much. He can employ certain strategies, put in plays, do whatever you want. But it ultimately comes down to the player, whether they execute on offense, what they're running, defensively, if they can get stops and rebounds. So, you know, that's the thin line between winning and losing basketball games. A lot of times it's not that 30-point win, it's those 2 to 3 point losses where you just couldn't quite complete a play that ends up costing you that game that you were in a position to win.
Donte Green finishes off the three-point play. Yes, I mean, that's what's on the line to go. July 6th of last year. Jackson steps outside, 3, air ball, Powell has it. Talk about for Steven Jackson, I mean, the three-point shot, so much a part of his game for his very long career, but attacking off the bounce a little bit more right now for the Killer 3.
Well, I mean, sometimes the jump shot just doesn't fall. So being a versatile offensive scorer like Steven Jackson, he understands, okay, if I have it, I'll take it. If not, like right now, he wants to square up, but sees Powell inside. He'll attack.
Rotation is Jackson covered by McDonald. So back-to-back misses from 3 for Jackson. Scalarbine creates for Stevenson. Straightaway 3, offensive rebound, Scal. Stevenson tries it again, and this time drills it. Second chance for DeShawn Stevenson.
Good ball movement, good player movement. Scal again right in the center of the action on the offensive rebound, and then ultimately assist to Stevenson. Turnover.
12 now for Stevenson, 15 to lead the way for Will McDonald for the Ball Hogs. Stevenson, hot hand. Nitty in his face.
Great box out that time. Jeff Green.
Gets past Scal, drops it off. Powell with a dunk. Off the look from Green, the assist. Killer threes, back up by 3.
Yeah, and that's the advantage. Once you break down the defense, especially when you go baseline, there's no weak side rotation, especially if the weak side offensive player is lifted up. And if you come too late, that's going to open up a drive or that pass like we just saw for a layup.
McDonald misses wide open. Donte Green crossing over on McDonald, trying to finish with a left. Tight D. Scal got a hand on it. On to Stevenson. McDonald off a good look from
Beautiful.
Stevenson.
Beautiful. But the quick action into the pick and roll kept the defense at bay. Then Stevenson with a nice little pocket pass right to a rolling McDonald, showing that soft touch on the baseline, which is a tough shot.
Frank Nitty follows his miss. Second chance. That is a travel. It's beyond a Euro, I would say. Scal gets a break. Quintel Woods coming back in for the Ball Hogs. Killer threes 3-1. First loss of the season last week versus Trilogy, who's now won 3 straight. Stevenson trying to find Woods, backdoor, lost it out of bounds. Not sure exactly what Oakley had to say for Frank Nitty there, but it was pretty direct. Green off the screen from Powell. Poked away, gets it back. Nitty nearly walked again. In tight in the lane. Around Quintel Woods. Frank Sessions off the bounce. McDonald on Powell, backing in. McDonald banging. Powell got away with a hook. Call it good D.
There was a little contact there. I think McDonald was upset that I think it was Powell used 2 hands as an arm, 2 shoulders, 2 hands, 2 elbows as an arm bar to keep McDonald from backing in.
Stevenson misses the 2. McDonald taps it out of bounds. He did touch it last. Killer 3 ball on the baseline. Powell, Nitty, back cut, nifty, Nitty, finger roll, killer threes, up by 5. A slip for Franklin Session, and Nitty, and the killer threes, rolling. Killer threes started 3-0. First loss of the season versus Trilogy last week. Trilogy, who's now won 3 straight. Top 4 teams in the Big 3 standings go on to the playoffs. Chance to win the championship in LA. That's a long way off the Ball Hogs. They're looking for win number 1 of the season. First in over a year. Quintel Woods in tight, draws a foul. Oh, it's a travel before the contact from Green. Travel called.
Let's take a look at here as Quintel inside, shuffles.
Ball Hogs give it right back. Playing the 50, have to win by 2.
It's interesting down the stretch of this game, even in the second half, as effective as Curry was in the first half. See Nitty getting inside. We haven't seen Curry Coach Oakley kind of liking the lineup that you have right here. That is playing pretty well for Killer 3's, so he's just staying with it.
Offensive foul called on Scalarbine.
Well, watch the contact right here. And he does push right there. So Scal doesn't like it, but it was a correct call.
Nitty on Quintel Woods. Nitty trying to take him off the bounce. Quintel contests. Nitty hits another top two. He can float Frank Nitty. So Killer 3's 8 points away from a win, starting to separate from the Ball Hogs. Rick Barry takes a timeout as a Killer 3's killer instinct.
A little inside out with his right hand, maintained his dribble. One thing Frank Nitty is not going to do, he's not going to beat you with the long ball, but he's going to set you up to be off balance with his dribble and then utilize his quickness. And you witness the ability for Nitty to absorb contact, being a smaller player, but still being able to finish with his right hand.
Well, the big man Curry got it started with the first 6, 10 of the first 14. Now you go small ball, and Nitty's trying to close it. 8 straight points for the Killer 3's from Frank Sessions. And now 3 in double figures. Sessions with 12, Steven Jackson with 11. Curry had 10 of those first 14. Hasn't scored since, but Charles Oakley's played it a couple different ways. Big men scoring early, and now a smaller, quicker lineup on the floor. It's all adding up to 8 points away from a win.
Well, what you got too is with Powell and Green, 2 forwards that can guard on the perimeter, can set screens, can make shots, but also can make plays. And talking about making plays, if you give Nitty space, see, that's when he works his best. When he has space to be able to utilize his dribble and his quickness. In that time, he pulled up for the easy little 15, 12-foot shot.
14 now for Nitty. Killer 3's closing in on 4-1. And a tie atop the Big 3 standings. Donte Green knocked away by Scalarbine. 4 to shoot.
That done. The official was going to say he was going to go to the TV to see the replay. If it was off, and Scalarbine went up and said, no, 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 no. It was off me.
Wow.
Maybe he should have said, go back to the screen and take a look at it.
Because Powell nails the 3, and now you're 3 points away from the Killer 3's going to 4-1. McDonald off a look, and now Green and Killer 3's 3 points away from ending it and going to 4-1. Back cut, Nitty, 2 more and 1, and a chance to close it out with a 3-point play for Franklin Session, AKA Frank Nitty.
I talked about having the forwards that can make plays. Okay, now just a little slip pass inside to Nitty cutting. Again, that's the reason why Coach Oakley felt comfortable with the lineup he had, because even if Steven Jackson wasn't on the court, he had guys that can make plays.
Nitty with the game winner. The Killer 3's close on a 16-2 run led by Franklin Session. 4-1, tied atop the Big 3 standings. The Ball Hogs fall to 0-5. Nitty 17 in the game to lead the way for the Killer 3's. Curry big early, Frank Nitty huge late. Frank Session, Nitty's with BT.
Yeah, somebody just chimed in. They said the Nitty way. The Nitty way is all about energy. Nice job. You guys finished on a nice flurry. A little bit of a rough start to the game. What changed?
We just had to lock in. I think we were kind of sped up. Everybody just needed to slow down, get in our spots, and just make shots.
Now, I know the concentration coming into the game was how to stop Scalarbine. I know you guys were worried about that. How did you actually accomplish that when he hit his first couple shots? How were you able to contain him?
We just stayed humble on defense. I thought he was gonna keep rolling the way he was looking. Everything was fluid, but great guy, man, great guy.
What'd you think of the crowd here in OKC? Pretty good today, right?
The crowd was amazing, man. I like that. This is how it's been, though. I haven't seen a bad crowd yet, so I'm loving it.
That's how we do it. Nitty time. Thank you, pal. Nice job. Nice. He's sweaty. He's earned the shower. Nitty in the house.
And how about Nitty? I mean, closing it out, the Nitty way was 13 of the last 16 points for Killer Threes. They're now 4-1. Ball Hogs still winless on the year. For Jim Jackson, Brandon Tini, our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn saying so long from Oklahoma City. Coming up next, all your Big 3 highlights, CBS Sports HQ. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports in association with the Big 3.